Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bio with one of our amazing coaches. Susan Hollister is with me today. So thank you so much for playing in our reindeer games today.
I'm so happy to be here. This is exciting.
It is. I love this. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Tammy Alvarez, the founder of the Career Winners Circle. And Beyond the Bio is where we get to look at coaches behind the scenes. So many times coaches seem to have it all together. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're human like everybody else. And we love to give our community the opportunity to really know what helps make our coaches tick. And so Susan is in our hot seat today. We're going to start, Susan, with a speed round. And so what I want you to do is go ahead and just give me the first things that come to mind. We're going to go through a couple quick questions and then we'll take it to the next level. Sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, awesome. So if you could summarize your mantra in 10 words or less, what would that be?
You're giving me only 10 words?
That's it.
I may have to count on my fingers.
Approximately 10 words. Less is more, though. So what would that be?
Well, okay. So I guess without change, there's no growth or progress, would probably be my summary. Yeah.
And how has that shown up for you in your life?
Well, I think most people are afraid of change. They see it as a really kind of negative thing. And for me, change is about adapting. It's about adapting to your situation, whatever that might be. And I've had a lot of change in my life, and I've had a lot of adapting to do. And I've been so pleased and so grateful that I've been able to adapt and take, my career to the next level, take my life to the next level, because I have that ability to adapt.
Well, and speaking of your career and your life, that ties really well into our second question, which is if your life were a book, what would the title be?
Do I have to make up my own, or
Gotta keep it clean.
I think that I was given, actually, I'm going to use somebody else's title because it actually is a great summary of my life as well. And it's, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
Oh, I love that book too, right? So, okay. And yes, you have traveled the world and have such a fascinating background in terms of what you've done. I think that's a great title for your life.
Well, I think it's also great for, my career. And it's a book that, it's Dr. Seuss. So who doesn't love Dr. Seuss? But it's a life lesson for everything, for your career, for your personal life. And it really helps people see things. It helps me see things in just a different light.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. Well, I know you just got back from a trip seeing your parents. So this next question is right in line with that. And so what is the craziest thing you ever did as a kid that your parents never found out about?
Okay, that's a tough one. And I'm very grateful the fact that I just got back from that trip with my parents, because we had some, we have lots of conversations about the history and their memories of me and my brother and all that. And I wasn't a crazy kid. I was a good kid, but one thing came up that they didn't know about. They acted surprised. And when I was a teenager, my mom opened a video store. And while she was getting things ready and built out and stuff like that, we had all the movies in our basement, lined up on our pool table, all around the family room. And when mom and dad would go out, I would sneak in and undo the wrapper on the R-rated movies.
Ooh. You rebel, you.
But I learned to seal them back up really well. And my parents' reaction to that was absolutely hilarious. It's like, that doesn't sound like you. It's like, well, I guess I have a little rebel in me.
Yeah, a little bit, right? I always have a little bit no matter how good we were as a kid, right? So,
Exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And what is your favorite hobby?
Cooking. I love
No time at all, right? Double down on cooking. That is it. Tell me more.
I love to cook. I love to experiment with food. I love to hold dinner parties and throw big events. And I just love to feed people. I love to see the smile on their faces. And when the yum, oh, Susan, this is so great comes out, it's just awesome. And I experiment. I cook all different types of cuisine. And, sometimes it's whatever's in the pantry kind of meal, and I be as creative as I can. So it's my creative outlet.
Awesome. I love that. We share the
Yeah.
same passion, right? I know I'm stressed when I spend the whole weekend in the kitchen cooking.
Yeah.
Such as a really fun outlet. And
Yeah.
then speaking of food, we're layering to these quite well, actually. So if you could have dinner with anyone from the past or present, who would it be?
Oh, so many. Okay, first that comes to mind is Nelson Mandela.
Okay. Tell me
Yeah,
why.
I know. For me, he is one of the most inspirational leaders of all times. His persistence and his heart and his passion for everything he does, and what he's gone through, that perseverance is just unmatched, and he inspires me. So,
Great. I love it. And then if you had the power to change one single thing in the world, what would it be?
well, okay. Here's another throwback to my last week with my parents, is the movie Benjamin Button. I think that if we could all be born with the wisdom of being our older self, everything would be better. We would make decisions that are more informed. We I think that's really a summary of it. We would make decisions that are better informed.
I always hear that thing that youth is wasted on the young, right? So, yeah,
Uh,
okay,
up to
interesting. That
you.
requires quite a bit of pixie dust, right? But that would be a really interesting perspective for sure.
Well, you said anything, so
Anything, right? This is all about you and just what inspires and lights you up and all that kind of fun stuff. So I love that. Love it. So let's go in a little bit more about coaching. And so
okay.
what really fires you up most about being a coach?
I love helping people get unstuck.
Mhm.
We all get stuck. We all have those moments, sometimes long moments in our life that we are stuck, and we don't know necessarily what to do. And so seeing my clients get unstuck and have those aha moments light up their face,
Isn't that the
that
best?
feeds, that feeds my soul. It
Yeah.
really does feed my soul. It's all about aha moments.
Yeah, and it is such a great feeling to not only just see them get those aha moments, but then take action on it.
Hmm.
And realize that kind of like the whole Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you could have gone home anytime you wanted to, right? So it didn't you the whole time. And so I think that's such a that's just such an amazing and epic moment for us as coaches when we get to see that on a regular basis. And so what's the most common problem that your clients have, and what is it hold what is it that's holding them back?
Um, all of my clients come with frustration, right? They're frustrated about their careers, are frustrated about their teams, for leadership. They've been successful in their careers and they've done things a certain way for so long. And the frustration comes in is when what they've always done in the past doesn't actually work anymore, or it's just not serving them, to where they want to go. And so helping people with that frustration and getting through that and cutting through all the noise, is the absolutely most common problem, and solution really is cutting through the noise.
Yeah, and it is interesting because most people like their careers and the things that they're doing just happen organically. And it usually requires very little thought or effort on our parts to just continue to move as life takes us through our journey. And then when all of a sudden you are stuck and you don't have those skills, or at least recent skills, to be able to pull that through, yeah, absolutely. We see that all the time, right? And then as they work with you, how are they solving that problem? And then ultimately, how does that impact their lives?
Well, the biggest thing for me is to help people think differently, to
Mm.
think outside the box, to look at who they are, what they can do in a different light, because we all have skills, we all have talents that we've forgotten about or we haven't utilized in a while, or we don't equate to what we've done to what we want to do. And so, by working with me and by, asking those tough questions and being able to hone in on why they're thinking the way they're thinking and what if they thought differently. And, asking questions like, what about this? And have you thought about that? And why is that? I love the whys. I really do love the whys. I think it really helps people to unleash their thoughts and unleash their potential.
And once they get done answering all those whys, how does it look for them?
Again, those aha moments happen. It's all about those they see themselves in a different light, and the joy that it brings to them to see that they can do this, that they have everything that it takes to make things happen. It affects every part of their life,
Yeah.
right? When we're frustrated and when we're stuck, it filters into our personal life. It affects, our careers and all of that. So when they've shifted their thinking, it trickles out to the entire life.
Sure. And I've got so many feedback, like, you helped my marriage. I'm like, I'm not putting that on my, on our things that we get done, but it's good to know that it does happen, right? And you're able to do that. So I know you've had some really, really epic moments in your career, but can you share like the most epic? If you had to pick one, what would that be?
Well, I've had a few, of course. Picking one, let's go with the most recent because it's the freshest in my mind.
Okay.
I was working for an organization in my capacity, as leader of human resources, and I had to hire my boss. And it was, I've done that many times, and it's not a big deal. But as we were going through candidates and interviewing and stuff like that, we realized that they just didn't have, everything that the organization wanted. And my chairman came to me and was talking through this with me, and I actually, out of the blue, took a chance. Hadn't planned on this, but I said, "What about me for the job?" And he lit up. He says, "Are you serious?" Just a stunned look on his face. He says, "That's brilliant. I didn't know I wanted that, but you're exactly what we need." And so taking that leap of faith and having enough trust in myself to take that chance turned into probably the most epic, career choice of my
Definitely an
life.
opportunity for you, for sure. Yes.
I was able to do things that I've never done before. I had no expertise in, but taking my leadership skills and taking my, my people skills and my ability to connect, all these dots and lead a diverse team, was monumental in my career. It really was.
Absolutely. And let's call a spade, right? When you're leading a First Nations tribe in Canada as a Caucasian female, that is epic, right? In terms of being able to really reach across so many different boundaries and assumptions and roadblocks to get things done. So yes, I would agree. That is one of my top three as well in terms of your career, if I get a vote. Okay. And then obviously, we only get to pick one of these as well, but I think our screw ups and our mistakes define who we are and really help us grow faster. So if you could have done one thing differently in your journey, what would it have been?
That's that's a really tough one, because I'm a firm believer that we are where we are today because of our journey. And to make any changes in our journey would mean that we don't end up where we're at. And I love where I'm at in all aspects of my life. But if there's one career choice I would have changed, I was actually working in Dubai, and I started working for an organization that was a local organization, and it was a complete turnaround, 60-year history, and they never had HR. They'd never had leadership, really, in a lot of ways. And so I took a chance on that job, but within 6 months, I actually had to tender my resignation. They had asked me to do something that was unethical and, in my books, immoral, and I wouldn't do it. And when I tendered my resignation, they said to me, they tried to convince me to stay. I said, "Well, I'll stay, but I'm not going to do this. I'm just not. It's against everything I believe in." And they said, "Well, you still need to do that." And so I gave them my notice again. And did that affect my career? Probably not, which is why I would change it. So.
Didn't take you forward or backwards, right? It just gave you a lot of aggravation to stand in place.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay. And what would you say to someone who's considering hiring you as a coach, but they're still not unsure about you or getting coaching in general?
Well, I think that, and this is something I do tell my clients, and I tell people in general, we go to a doctor when we're sick. We hire a roofer if our roof needs replacement, or we hire a contractor to do that. We hire specialists in our career all the time, who don't have our expertise so that they can, backfill, that lack of expertise that we have. So a coach is the same thing. We are experts in our field. We help our clients get to the next level. And so if you think about it in that way, that you hire specialists all the time to help you in all aspects of your career, why wouldn't you hire a career specialist?
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And a leadership expert at that, right? So,
Absolutely.
and a great coach can tee up thought-provoking questions that really help their clients dig deeper and grow. So what is the one question or challenge that you want to leave our viewers with today?
Well, I already said about the whys, right? So I'll pick a different one. I guess, what would happen if you didn't take action? So I guess that's a question and a challenge. Like, what happens if you don't take action? What happens if you don't take the next step?
And on that, which I think is an amazing question, we are going to wrap. So thank you so much for playing in our beyond, behind the bio. It's always nice digging in, getting to know what makes our coaches tick. I think our viewers are going to have a nice peek into what makes Susan Susan. And if you are looking for leadership development expertise, if you are stuck in your career, if you're a mid to senior level leader that just wants more, Susan is absolutely the coach for you. So get on our calendar, have a free strategy session, and see where you two can go together. So Susan, thanks again for coming, and I had a great time chatting with you today.
Thanks so much. This was a lot of fun.
And see, it wasn't so bad after all, was it?
No.
Thanks.
See you later.